I don't know what it is doing. Hang on a second. So I'm in the thing. Let me start a new audio recording. Makes me do this every time.
Jerry needs a fail diary.
Indiana Jones, Indiana Jones, Indiana. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones, Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the podcast where we go to town on the earlobe of the film Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, 1 minute at a time. I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm Pete Mummert.
I'm Gerald Christopher Dopey Porter.
And look at that over there. We got Crystal Beth back with us.
Hey!
Hey!
I always look forward to Jerry's names. It's a real treat, everyone.
Has anybody put it together that I'm up? Do you know what I'm referencing there, Tom, Pete?
What,
like
Dopey?
for the last 20 minutes? That's all of them. Gerald Christopher blank Porter.
That's silence.
Oh,
you're
everything.
trying to- are you
you're
giving
making fun of our friend
synonyms
Marcus.
for our buddy.
Yeah,
buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A totally
like-
solid, stable,
Yeah.
Marcus-like Marcus.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like befuddled, bewildered,
No, see,
impertinent,
I swear
irrelevant.
you're jumping the gun, Jerry. I'm going to be with
Muzzy.
you. I'm going to be with
I
you
said
when that
muzzy.
happens. But it's not
I don't like your
happening
names
yet.
anymore, Jerry.
That's funny.
Yeah, you're a jerk.
See, when you do the four names, I always think of it puts me on edge because when I would get in trouble when I was younger, my mom would go, Crystal Beth, Arnold Gilbert, get over here right now. Because when she threw my dad's last name, because my actual last name, Gilbert, is my stepdad's last name who adopted me when I was younger. My original last name is Arnold, it's my dad's last name, he was like, she's a girl, I don't care, she can change her name, it's fine. So my mom got mad at me. She'd throw in my dad's last name. So anytime someone says four names, it is like, it induces a fear of God inside me.
Oh, my God. See what you're doing, Jerry? It started out fun, but you're torturing people. This is awful. We apologize. We're going to fire Jerry after this episode. It's going to be okay.
You can't fire an intern.
No, that's true.
Oh, you sure can.
It's going to change the locks.
That'll do.
We are here for minute 45 of Last Crusade, and this is the minute that begins with Indy letting Elsa know in no uncertain terms that he intends to do things the way he thinks they should be done. And it ends with Indy and Elsa pulling up to a spooky castle outside of Salzburg. This is they've been jerk flirting this whole time for like a minute. We covered that last time. And now Indy's like, I'm going to do things my way. And he grabs her by the back of the head and pulls her in for a fierce kiss. And there is an audible clop when their faces smash together. Like their teeth or their lips. I don't know what it is, but it's like two coconuts coming together. And it's always very painful for me to watch.
There is nothing. I'm all for Indiana Jones boning. Like, it's, you know what, do it all the time. I'll watch it. I don't like this one.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
They're too
Weird.
angry.
Well, okay, so wait, is this supposed to be like we all know Germans are into bondage. Is that what this is? Can we get Doris on the phone?
Yeah.
I want to ask her, like, Doris, this isn't the way it really is. I mean, it's fine if some people are like that, but they're like that all over the world. It's not just Germans.
Yeah, I
But
don't know if
is
this
that
is a
what they're-
German thing. I think it's a frustrated archaeologist thing.
Yeah.
An angry,
But I mean,
frustrated
if you look at
archaeologist.
Elsa, like she's in charge, they're both vying, they're jockeying for position here. They're which one is going to be in control? Who's the dominatrix here, or whatever the male version of dominatrix is, whatever dominating warlock, whatever.
Have
Although
you
I guess
guys,
technically Elsa's Austrian, so I don't know if this is before or after the Anschluss, so maybe we can call it German yet.
yeah.
But I mean, it's just like that's what this is supposed to be. This like there's coconuts clopping. And it's angry and it's tension filled. And I thought about that. This is, I mean, I guess this is what Indy's into, right? Because when Marion is all sweet and tending to his wounds aboard the Bantu Wind, he falls asleep.
Right.
Yeah, but it was the mileage. He had been through a
Yeah, he
lot.
went through
And
a
here
lot.
it's
He
like
was in-
now if now we get sort of like a tension and anger and betrayal and lying, and he's turned on.
Yeah, but you know what? He says, "Knock it off! I don't like fast women." And I think that might be true as I'm thinking back on it. Like the Marion scene, yes, he does fall asleep, but he's like, that's like an actual scene, like between two human beings. And like Willie Scott kind of comes on pretty strong, and he kind of doesn't know what to do with it. He's like, the scientist, I don't know. And,
Yeah.
And then here, I don't know. I don't know what maybe he's trying this out or something for the
I've got a
first time
theory.
almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Indiana Jones might be a virgin.
Oh, we
And
theorized about that in Temple of
Yeah,
Doom.
yeah, and I think maybe there'll be more evidence later in this minute. But this line, when he says, "Leave me alone. I don't like fast women." That's almost exactly the same thing he says to Willie.
Yeah.
He says, "I'm not that easy either."
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
this
yeah.
same kind of indignant reaction, and I think
Right.
that's his move.
I mean, even
Yeah.
Like he's like,
Han
Ezra
Solo says it. He says he's a nice
Yeah.
man. So,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
the thing.
yeah, yeah.
Crystal, what is a fast woman?
See, I don't like
Jerry.
this. I don't like this because I hate using the freaking term, well, in society, but men are allowed to keep tabs on how many women they've slept with, and the higher the number, the more high fives they get. The more
Right.
STDs they get too, but no one's counting those.
High tens.
But with women, the higher the woman's number is, the more she's frowned upon. She's looked down on.
Right.
Sure.
Escorts they're a butt of jokes. They make a lot of money, but they have figured out a way to utilize their talents and sell themselves, and good for them. And a loose woman or a fast woman bothers me because it's just a woman that happens to be as in touch sexually with herself and wants to get her rocks off as much as a man. And when a man's like, I don't like women like that, I want to be like, any woman you've slept with is like that, or they wouldn't have slept with you.
We have a perfect demonstration of that in this scene. Like, Indy kisses her ferociously,
Yeah.
and that's his thing. And then she kisses him back ferociously. He's like, wait just a minute now. How dare you?
Well, she says,
I'm not the kissing kind.
she says, how dare you kiss me? Because,
Yeah.
again, this is the power struggle between the two of them, where I
Right.
guarantee
Yeah.
you, she wanted to be the one to make the first move. She shut the door. She
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
within a foot of
Yeah.
him. Once you're within a foot of
Yeah.
someone, you're either going to punch him or you're going to kiss him. And no fists were flying. That's why I don't
Yeah.
stand
Yeah.
within 1 foot of any male, because I'll just automatically kiss them. But I think she knew what she was doing at this point, because she had just, spoiler, ransacked her own room.
Yeah.
She needed to keep him from using his brain to deduce things, and the fastest way to do that
Yeah.
is to draw blood away from the head into the penis.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she went in the way she needed to go in, but then he kissed her first, and that's not fair. He just played her game, and she did not like it.
Yeah.
So she had to kiss him back, and they were both angry coconut kisses, and it was weird and awkward. And I don't know did any of you read The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand?
I was busy that day.
Okay, well, be busy
that
that
week.
every day. They're good books. I enjoy them, but there's a part where Howard Rourke and Dominique have their first sexual relations, which is like a kind of a scary raping scene, but it doesn't. It molds into something else, and it's incredibly. It was so uncomfortable for me when I was reading it. I was like, I am so awkward right now that I wanted to skip pages, but I was like, I cannot. You gotta suffer. And this kiss scene gives me that same weird suffering, because I do not feel like either of them want to actually do this. I think that
I mean, the characters or the actors?
the characters.
Okay.
Well, speaking of weird and uncomfortable sex scenes, in Elsa chewing on Indy's ear,
Oh.
Is she have a thing for Indy's parents, or is she seeing herself as Indy's mom?
No, yeah, it is. No, exactly. The ear belongs to his mom.
Is she mother's ears? Or like, are they her ears now? Is that
who's your mommy?
what she means, or does she just have a thing for both of Indy's parents?
Who's your mommy?
Stepmommy's ears.
I didn't think about that, and that added an extra level. I wish you could see me. My
Creepiness.
shoulders just rolled back, and I grabbed my collarbone, and I was like, "Ew!"
Yeah.
It is.
She's digging the mother's ears, though.
Yeah. And by the way, this is one of those cases that we're just working on what they're giving us. There's one other,
gross.
there's one other reference to Indy's ears. It was about 10 minutes ago. And then they very specifically show the nibble. And I'm wondering, is that to show, like all Nazis, she has a sex dungeon in her basement? Like, is it? Did they show that to show you, like, this isn't a regular, this isn't a regular woman who'd just be normal and happy to, like, make out in the back seat of the Studebaker or whatever. Like, this is like she's really into that kinky stuff with earlobes and biting the earlobe. Like, is that supposed to show that she's, like, aggressive and kinky and all? It is, right?
Yeah, but then she lays down and they're gentle kissing. Which I guess you can, like, if you do your rage coconut kiss first, like, maybe then you can settle into a normal, regular kiss. But you would think that when they went down, the way she's acting, she's a top.
Yeah.
I would have believed this more if, I believe it, because I know or unless he's still a virgin, like you said, which... I don't know how I feel about that theory. I think he's not a virgin, but I also don't think he's good at sex. I think he would be bad at it because he's selfish and he doesn't listen to what other people want. But beside that, I would have believed it more if when they went down, instead of it being Indy's head leaning up and looking and being like, oh, Venice, if it was her slamming him down and then, I don't know, maybe even like a slow pan from like, him up to the window where he says Venice or anything with him on the bottom.
Yeah.
And he might hate it.
They fade away right away. Like, that probably happens right after we fade away or something.
That's where I really think that this highlights that Indy's a virgin. Because I think Spielberg's playing with a trope here is normally, you see in an old movie, you see a couple like start to kiss and then you see like a train, they cut to a train going through a tunnel or, like something like that. And in this one, you immediately cut to the guy singing in the gondola, and you're like, "Oh, they're doing it." And then they immediately cut back, and Indy is still in almost the exact same place,
and
they
then,
haven't.
And then they cut to
happened.
a map that has a very indirect route to where they need to go.
A sperm trail making its way up into Salzburg.
But the first. They do. They have. I was going to say, okay. So they show you that he's on top of Elsa, and then we have an elongated boat going up a canal, and the boat's filled with white stuff.
It's seamen. They're literally rivermen, I guess.
Yes,
but
river. Right.
Man in the boat.
So it can go either way. This is open to interpretation.
Jared, there's a man in the boat.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus! And look at how he's handling that pole. I'm with Crystal Beth. I don't like this. I don't like the Venice. I don't like you, Tommy, and how you like Venice. I don't like Venice. It's James Bond, and it doesn't work, and it's the third time he said it, and so is it just like, is he sitting there going like, every time I'm in Venice, I women within like 15 minutes. That's why I like Venice.
Or he's never been to Venice, but he's read a lot of books on the romance of Italy that take place in Venice.
But then he's like,
and this
is just what Venice
he's
is
like,
like.
but then he's like, kind of like, but then that's phony and fake. He's like, this is, he's telling me that this is, he always knew what Venice was like.
This is exactly my theory of, hey, Pete, I'm going to get back. I'm really passionate about what I'm about to say. I will get right back to what you were going to say. Don't forget it. this goes back to my theory that he's one of these people that thinks his life's a movie, where he read all about what Venice is in books and romance and like Shakespeare and everything. It's like, oh, Venice, oh, love, love, love. Where he is like, oh, okay, cool. This is exactly what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to have sex in Venice. This is so like that. The fact that the idea that he had never been here before and maybe write it in a book, he thinks he's a character in something else.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's actually exactly what I was going to say, is Venice, especially during like the 1800s and early 1900s, had this reputation. Like people would leave from England and they would go on the grand tour, and Venice was famous for like the courtesans, and that's where you would go and you would tell your mom, oh, I'm going to study European culture. But Venice is where you would go and hook up with women.
That makes sense, because have any of you been to Venice? I'm guessing Pete has.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pete's been to Fast Women too.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's where he brings all his dates, or where he brought all his dates. Not anymore.
Thank you.
But Venice is a very hard city to navigate, so you would never be found. Because you could be like, you could do Find My iPhone, but being able to find the right bridge to cross to get where you need to go is very difficult. So it really is a good place to, just... Oh, gosh, I always want to swear so bad, but I'm not gonna. It's a good place to make love and run.
There you go. See, Jerry?
But
Love.
Hey, look, Indiana Jones is not making love here. Can we be clear?
No, he's not, and I can't say it.
No.
Jerry, you have to say it. I'm not going to give everyone more work to do. You have to.
I'm not convinced Indiana Jones is doing anything here. I think that.
I like that, Pete. I kind of like that. Like he's just.
I mean, part of it is like like any old-timey movie you see, like, oh, did Clark Gable actually just take off all his clothes and have intercourse with that woman? I don't think he did. I don't think that's what we're supposed to take away from this. They kissed and they faded over to the fireplace.
Okay,
yeah, they had a nice handshake.
They got up and had lunch.
They had a handshake. And,
yeah. Well done.
In the back of a Studebaker. So, I mean, is this whole thing just supposed to be like the super old-timey, like, say, dame, it's going to be my way? It's a how dare you? Like we're all looking for the smack across the face. Like she goes, "How dare you kiss me?" Wallop, and then they coconut kiss, and then we're supposed to be like, "Oh God, I love this couple." That's what it's.
Right.
So
yeah.
If I am to follow the theory that he's a virgin, I need a description as to how you think he didn't have sex. How does this makeout session end?
Well, he may have after, like he may have later this night. But I think
okay, but I'm talking
right
any other makeout. Any other makeout with a woman. I need to hear how you guys think. You don't need to like play the part. Just like a
role play here.
I don't need Tom to be the girl and Pete to be Indy. I just want to know how Indy would get out of the situation of after seducing a woman not actually going through with the deed.
Maybe Jared's right. Maybe he just actually falls asleep.
Yeah, he falls asleep.
Every time?
It's his defense mechanism.
It's like a disorder.
He falls up in the wall and falls asleep.
That works for me.
Like
That, you know what? That actually 100% works for
He's
me.
like a sexual narcoleptic.
No, it's awesome.
Maybe she's disgusted because he has a cold.
gosh,
She's
that's
like,
awesome.
Bettis. Mouth breathing. Grave robbing.
For the record, Jerry, just because I love you, I don't like this Venice either.
Aw, thanks, Pete.
Oh.
I like the first two, but I don't
you know
like
what?
this
I
one.
don't like it either. I'm not that crazy about it. I just say I was only bringing it up during the second Venice when he comes out of the sewer or whatever.
That one I like.
That one's dumb, I think. I think that one's really forced.
See,
if there had just been the first Venice when he gets there and then this Venice, that would have been like an okay thing.
If they gave us one Venice, it would have been fine. It does nothing when he lands on the pier, the first one. It does nothing. It's just like, oh, he's relaxed and he's made it.
It sets up the other two.
The
setup,
second one, you're like, that's kind of funny because he's, as we said, he's glad he's still alive and he's back in the city and oh my God, we escaped narrowly. And you're like, that one's funny and it makes sense.
If he had said it differently, I would have liked that
Sure.
one.
I wish you could see me right now, Jerry, because as soon as you said what you said, I started pointing at my microphone. So I was like, that's exactly it. The problem is they utilize the idea of a runner, which is something funny that happens that you repeat over again and then becomes funnier as it happens. Mm-hmm. In order for a pattern to be solidified, it has to happen 3 times, which is why 3s are funny in comedy.
Yeah.
So he says, "Ah, Venice," when he comes out of the sewer. That's 1. This is 2. If they had just done the kiss with "Ah, Venice," it would have been like a tender, loving thing where it's like, oh, that's sweet. If they had just done the "Ah, Venice" when he came out of the sewer, that could have, the delivery wasn't on point, so it wouldn't have been, but they could have made it so that was funny. Because he is among all these rich, wealthy people covered in petroleum and probably poop. And saying, "Ah,
she's
Venice,"
probably
which
into
is
that. The way they draw her.
And that's what Venice is.
Yeah.
Venice is poop canals.
Yeah.
So that would be funny. If they had managed to fit an "Ah, Venice" anywhere else, like when he first arrived at
he does.
Venice.
He says Venice when he gets off. He says Venice when he gets off the boat with Marcus.
Yeah,
right
but
before they meet
not
Elsa.
It's just him saying "Ah, Venice," which makes you think that he's just pointing out the location, as opposed to it being developed from a circumstance.
Yeah.
Because the other 2 things happen to him for him to say "Ah, Venice." So
You know what would make the third one funny? This Venice is if it was off screen. He goes back down to like keep making out, and he says it in a complete like maybe this is the moment he stops being a virgin. And you hear like, "Oh, Venice," or something.
Or if you have Marcus in the next room, like trying to get him to shut up, he's like, "Ah, Venice."
Venice.
I'm tired of
or
these.
listening at the door
Oh,
exactly.
God, it would break my heart.
with like a little tiny. So if we were wondering where the
With a little tiny what?
What is the thing called off the speaker that you were saying? The cone?
Oh yeah,
Tiny
the
what?
megaphone thing. Yeah.
So we were wondering where the megaphone was for that recorder.
Yeah.
I mean, the record player. Maybe he took it and is now using that to listen in the door, and then he says, "Ah, Venice."
Yep.
Oh, listen, I
Looks directly at the camera.
I hate to coconut kiss
Norman
all you
Fell style.
guys.
Exactly.
But
The whole scene should have been from Marcus's point of view, Norman
Yeah.
Fell style, and it's all just innuendo from the
Oh,
other side.
my
of the door.
God.
He
Yes.
finally
Would've been
busts
good.
into the room, and Indy and Elsa
Yeah.
are doing something like just cleaning up the mess.
oh, gross.
That was in your pocket the whole time? You were hiding that from me?
Well, see, look, I hate to coconut kiss all you guys, but his father is still missing. Clop. Clop. Okay? His father's missing.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, Venice is a romantic place. And, you hear the gondoliers, "Oh, sole mia," whatever. And you're like, I get it. You're making love, and it's not even noon. That's the type of place this is. You know what I mean? It's wonderful and romantic and history, all that. And I get it. That's what they're capturing here. But, his dad's missing, and they just found out where he is. And, I don't believe that he trusts her all of a sudden. And he's kind of, like, holding that over her head. He's like, "Yeah, it's this. It's this." He basically holds up the Grail dialogue like, "Yeah, it's this what you want. It's this that they want and what everybody wants." And then he might as well just like point to his body and be like, "And it's this is what you want." He's kind of just flashing it around, the diary and himself. He's like, you love the way I do everything."
Well, I wonder how much this is just
Yeah.
Spielberg saying, I'm finally making my James Bond movie.
Yeah.
Because this seems much
Yeah.
more James Bond than it does Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Which,
I don't know. They make an attempt at like witty repartee, and but it's so confusing. It's like that happens a lot in these later movies. It's like they're you see what they're trying to do, but it's like unnecessarily complicated. Like last minute it was all the like, "I'm blaming you for everything that's been going wrong since I got to Venice, and we are stuck in this thing." Like it's all just kind of confusing. And why is he so pissed off? And yeah.
well,
So,
there's
I
a
don't know.
whole nother
It's,
movie and a whole series of movies, like 20 of them, that are called James Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Spielberg never got to direct one as much as he wanted to.
Then he should have directed a James Bond movie. He was already Steven Spielberg. He should have been, you guys know who I am? Let me direct the next Bond movie. Because I like James Bond.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, what, they tell him no?
Did
they really?
They told him no, and they
Yeah.
told Scorsese no. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Because they're like, we've already got James Bond. We don't need to pay however many millions of dollars to get these two guys.
Then
Yeah.
just accept
Probably
it.
just as
Don't
well.
make
Yeah.
Indiana Jones James. It's a total James Bond moment.
I don't know if it's that James Bond. That's what I was starting to say. Like James
No,
Bond
this
wouldn't
is-
have the light banter and stuff.
Look,
Like,
it's
he'd have a
Roger
couple of
Moore
catchphrases and
James
that's it.
Bond. It's 80s
No, but even
Roger
that, he's
Moore's
like
James Bond.
he would just say some non sequitur innuendos.
Pretty comical too.
Yeah.
Like he is the way he does it. It's like with the Venice and the way he like turns his head and then she turns
Yeah.
it back that and brings it down. That ruins the James
Yeah.
Bond-esque of it and turns it into like, oh, you're right. I'm watching Indiana
Yeah.
Jones.
But it's James Bond in the sense that, like, he's lost his dad, and James Bond is always in these situations where the world depends on him doing something, and everybody else would just be completely crippled by stress and anxiety. And he takes an evening out to just live in the moment and do whatever he wants.
Give me 3 minutes. Well, speaking of, what is James Bond in the scene is when they cut to the map and that road that they're driving up looks just like the road in Goldfinger when he's following what's her name, sister.
yeah.
Well, yeah, okay.
This is the first curved line we get, right, in one of these maps.
Well, that's a good question.
Oh,
and I
for
think,
real?
check this out. Is that because this is the first time with our travel map, the mode of transportation is not a plane?
What's transportation?
Can't you fix that in editing?
It's when you persuade your mode of transportation to move.
It's when you're fingering your map and transportation. Like, I have a cold,
there.
okay?
Knock it off.
I hate you, Tommy. Embarrass me in front of everybody. Crystal, but there are girls here.
I made fun of you in front of a girl.
This is what you always did to me. Invite the girl over and then do this to me.
Pants you. What you were saying about transportation.
Yes, it's the only time that they're traveling and it's not a plane.
I
So
guess that's true.
It's weird,
that's
right?
a good point.
Oh, well, wait a minute.
Yeah,
We had
yeah.
was that the U-boat, I think, was a little curvy, wasn't it? It wasn't like wiggly.
Well,
but it
wait a
was,
minute.
you know,
In Temple of
it
Doom,
wasn't a
did they
straight
use
line.
the map when they're traveling via elephant?
No.
No, they only used it when they were in the
Yeah.
plane.
Well, why not? They could have used it via elephant. That's
It would
fine.
have gone like,
it would
a
have been
centimeter.
really slow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would have been great.
It would have been like half the movie. Just been-
Like 3 lines and one stops at a puddle. And then
Hey,
one
whose
takes a poop.
car are they driving? Is this Donovan's car?
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Oh.
I
So
think
do
that's
you
probably all
think
of his
that
stuff.
okay? So
Yeah.
they're at Donovan's apartment. They're using Donovan's car. Like, do you think there's anything here that would give Donovan away? Like, is there a copy of Mein
Oh.
Kampf in the glove compartment?
It's interesting though. It's actually an Austrian-made car. They only made these for a few years in the 30s. It's a Schneider cabriolet.
Well,
which is
was
a
it
rare
like
car.
an early version of a Prius? Because they don't stop to refuel.
Yeah, they're yeah.
There's no little red
Although it's
dots.
not very far.
Yeah, how far is
It's
that?
not that far from Venice to up to Austria.
1 tank of gas, you think?
Yeah.
Well, you're going over the Alps, the Tyrolean Alps, though, so I don't
yeah.
know.
Look, if they can't,
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they have a gas can in the back.
Well, maybe it's like Formula One,
Yeah,
where they do stop for gas, but only takes 2 seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
full service.
they at the very end of this minute,
They got their tires changed.
they go straight Transylvania. At the
Yeah.
very end of this minute,
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah. Yep. And it
Other
is an
castle.
actual castle they're driving up to, but it's not in this part of Germany. It's up in the Rhineland-Palatinate.
Oh, weird.
Huh? Why do
haven't-
they?
but yeah, you
why
can-
do they do the whole lightning thing?
Because it's scary.
I think this is all a callback to George Lucas wanting to do the haunted Scottish castle
Yeah.
or haunted Scottish mansion. And this
Yeah.
is like this whole little beginning scene, I think, is taken from like it's his chance to do that.
Yeah.
It's also ominous. Like, something weird's going to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's out of like a storybook or something. Like it was a dark, stormy night.
Right. Mozart was from Salzburg. I just have that note written down. I only know that from Amadeus.
Really?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I mean, not really.
That's
Like,
such a
really,
good
that was
movie.
your note?
Yeah, I wrote that down. It makes it sound like I did some sort of research or something. Yeah.
Why? Truth or Satan?
Did you?
Jeez.
How did you come up with? Did you
Yeah.
just type Salzburg into the Google search?
No,
and,
no,
like,
I remember it from Amadeus.
I know
That'd be
my
fun to
co-host
say
will
for-
love this.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, a fun point of fact: Mozart was from Salzburg, which is featured on this map. You're welcome.
Don't they? I mean, they have salt there. They have
You're
those
welcome.
salt mines in Salzburg, don't they?
Yeah.
yeah, they're fun. You could ride down.
You go down that old like
put on
wooden
these little-
slide.
Yeah, the old wooden rail.
Yeah.
You slide all the way down it.
Are you guys being
Yeah.
dead serious?
Dead serious. Being
Yeah,
dead
they're amazing.
serious.
Yeah. They used to go. You used to get into
Really?
the mines by riding down these polished wooden banisters.
Weird.
And they go down like several stories, and you put on these gray kind of jumpsuits.
They go,
with
woo!
kind of a felt-like material, and you sit on the
Yeah.
banister,
What?
and you race down these wooden
I'm
banisters.
not buying any of this.
The salt mine.
Really?
No, I want to
Let's keep
believe
going,
it, but
Pete.
I've,
Let's
I've
keep
been
going.
burned so many times.
Wait, the
Keep
part I don't
going.
get is like that Salzburg is actually about salt. Like German
Yeah,
for salt
that's-
is salts.
Yeah. So that is the German word for salt.
Really?
No, it's salt. It's Salt Mountain. Yeah, it means salt.
Wow.
Mountain. Yeah. No,
Salt
they're
Mountain.
famous. This
no,
whole
you're
area is-
lying.
No, this whole area is famous for salt mines, like back to the Roman era.
Earth is weird.
Are you lying?
You could look it up. We're not actually
Are
lying.
you going to make me Google right
I love
now?
how-
Please
I
do.
love this, Pete. I love this. No, Pete, we're pulling your
Salt?
leg.
You're going to be on the listeners'
Yeah.
You
crusade.
son of a fucking bitches. You don't
Let's
understand.
keep it going, Pete. Keep it going.
You cannot be passionate about things that are not right around me because I will believe you. I'm a very earnest, excitable person.
No, it is real. This is
it
it's
real?
very real.
Yeah, it is.
The
Yeah, it's absolutely real.
banisters?
Oh, Pete, stop messing with them.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know. Okay, so this is the problem. Jerry is the one that usually messes around with people, and Pete
Yeah,
is the one
yeah,
I go
Pete's
to
the
for
one.
my
no, that's a
knowledge.
mistake. It's
And if Pete is the one that is yanking my chain,
Yeah.
I'm gonna feel
you know
so
what? You
betrayed.
should have left him at the
I want to
pier.
believe in something.
and
So
Paul-
they're not known for salt, and it doesn't stand for mountains.
no, it actually is all true. I would
I
think
don't
that
believe you.
everybody here on this show is full of shit, except I've been to Salzburg, and it's true. It is all about salt mines. It's true.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
and
weird.
you slide down them on the wooden rails and the whole
I'm-
thing.
I'm-
It's all true. And
Wow.
it does
That
it is all
part's
true, and
true?
it does sound preposterous. You're not in the
Yeah.
wrong for thinking everybody's full of shit. It does sound ridiculous.
This is I don't trust any of you right now.
I haven't said a word. I don't know anything about any of this.
Okay,
I'm staying out of
Tom,
this.
I trust
Okay.
you.
Believe me when I
I
say
just-
I don't know what to believe.
There's a little link in your Zencaster chat window.
Oh, it says April Fools, you stupid
oh, thank
sucker.
God, it's real.
There it is.
Oh, wow, look at that. Oh my gosh, it's like riding down the
Oh my
banister of the
God.
escalator in the subway or something.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Okay, all right. I can still be your friends.
Wow.
Cool.
I wouldn't lie about that.
Wow, I was
might lie
so
about some
scared.
things, but I
This
wouldn't
is
lie about
awesome.
That's crazy. I still think the craziest thing is that Salzburg is salt. Is it? It's named
Yeah,
after
that's where it got the
Wow.
They were really
Wow.
bored. It's kind of like that Alexander the
Yeah.
Great stuff.
What should I name this
Like,
city?
oh,
I
we conquered another
after?
town. Meh, Alexandra Parksville.
Otisburg.
Alexander Dells.
Oh my God, the fact that you get matching suits when you go down these
Yeah.
is even cooler.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, let's
Field
go.
trip.
Next Movies by Minutes meetup.
in Salzburg.
Meet us in the salt mines of Salzburg. Well, now that we've covered how salt is made, do we have anything else for minute 45?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Wait a minute. This just in, wearing a funny gray suit. From Professor Christy Porter. Is Elsa always a tension kisser?
Oh.
Has she done this before? For instance, with Indy's dad.
She knows the answer to that.
Well, not just that. I mean, is she a tension kisser? They're both getting all hyped and amped up and hot and bothered with this tension thing.
It does look pretty painful.
And it's also
Is
like
this just what she does, like Crystal Beth said?
Yeah.
Like if they're getting too close to the truth,
Yeah.
this is how she distracts
yeah,
them.
that's
Yeah.
a good point. Is it that, or is it like
Yeah.
you know? I don't know if you guys have ever been in a destructive relationship before.
No, but I'd like to be.
But sometimes when you get sometimes
Sounds awesome.
you know when you start to argue and things start flying and you can get turned on. Now life is not supposed to work that way, but maybe I'm wondering if Indy is like that, and that they get kind of a little bit turned on when there's more tension and and then they
Oh my
just
God,
then they
it's
just
like
go at it.
Angry cat.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a ball of smoke with limbs and genitals coming out of it.
It could be she's still upset that Henry Jones Sr. seduced her before she could seduce him.
Oh, yeah.
So she
Yeah.
was like, I get a second chance with the junior.
Yeah.
And then the junior seduces her again first. And that's why it's a little more angry.
She's
than
actually
you
angry.
expect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's actually biting his ear. Like,
Yeah.
she just,
Yeah.
Yeah, but she doesn't she knows that she wants this, but she's so mad that it has now been two Jones that have seduced her before she could seduce them.
Well, it's possible to get your wires crossed. You get your emotional wires crossed, and you get, the anger gets somehow connected and crossed with the turned onedness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just wondering. That's why maybe Elsa's one of those types. But hell, I'm thinking Indy's one of those types. Because
Could be.
because look, okay,
Yeah.
we have 3 things to look from, 3 movies, and 2 of them are a little funky, fraught with tension,
Yeah.
and yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Poor guy. I feel bad for him. He's all messed
I
up
don't
and
feel
weird.
bad for him at all. He
Yeah.
says right here, he's like, I do things my way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
I think
however the girl
no
in the
matter
room tells me they go. That's
Well,
how
I'm
I
saying
do.
whether he's a virgin or not, I think he ends up in a special section of a Kinsey report.
I would agree. I would agree with that.
Oh, man. All right. Well, on that note, we got to say goodbye to Crystal Beth. Thank you so much for joining us past couple of days.
Oh,
This
of
has been beautiful.
course. Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure to be with you guys.
It's always a pleasure to have you here. And where can the people find you, and what are you up to these days? Tell them again so they know.
You can find me on social media at The Crystal Beth. My podcasts are on iTunes, The Fifth Element, and Unlimited Lives Radio. Also a Fordcast podcast, which I forgot to talk about yesterday, which is a podcast about all the Harrison Ford films. It's hosted by 2 lovely women, and I'm coming in as a guest host. And those are all on iTunes. And you can also find me on iTunes on Indiana Jones minute 44
And 45.
this exact movie.
Yeah.
Oh, and 45. This one, you listen to
Yeah.
it. Good job. You're
If you want to hear that,
accomplished today.
just keep doing what you're doing. Yeah.
Yep.
You're living it right now. You're in the moment.
If you want to hear it again, rewind, start again,
Mm-hmm.
do it on 2+ speed, see if it sounds any different.
Yeah. Erase your old mark, make your new mark dark. Yeah. Hey, it's Friday. That means that we're not here tomorrow. But are we? Are we here tomorrow? Over the weekend, if you are a Patreon supporter of the show, you can go to patreon.com/Indiana Jones Minute, and you can get access to all of our bonus shows over there. Our bonus show, Anything Goes, where we discuss other films, such as little things called Jaws, Close Encounters, E.T., some Indiana Jones comic books. We got a whole thing going on over there, and you're missing it if you're not part of the solution and supporting the show. So please join us over there because it's a good, fun time. Some people even say it's better than this dumb show. Who knows? We're having a lot of fun. But whether you do that or not, and you should come back on Monday for this show for minute 46 of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
Sing it, Jer.
I'm gonna Google fast women. I'm gonna Google fast women.
It's going to be a bunch of Olympians.
Yeah, bobsledders.